All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Elise Silva, and I am a librarian here at the Harold B. Lee Library.
And I'm Cole. I'm a first-year writing student, and boy, am I stuck.
And we brought Cole in because he is stuck and a little bit anxious, and we imagine some of you guys feel the same way. But don't worry, we're going to walk you through step by step some of the things that you can do with this paper to take the scariness out of it and the anxiety out of it. And we're going to show you a bunch of resources that are going to be really helpful for you.
Thank goodness.
All right, Cole, so tell me a little bit about the topic that you were thinking of writing about.
Okay, well, we have to write about something regarding the media. So I was thinking maybe media and relationships.
That seems like a really great start. It's a little broad though, so let me ask you a few questions that might help narrow it down. Is there a type of media you were thinking of focusing on?
Maybe like social media?
What about relationships? When I'm thinking about that, there are actually lots of different kinds of relationships that you could focus on. Were you thinking about a particular kind?
Well, I've been thinking a lot about dating.
Dating. You and the other students at home as well. So we're down to social media and a dating type of, or a romantic type of a relationship.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is to use vocabulary that's going to be helpful for the databases and the library website to yield the best results. And so you don't want to just kind of put anything in or a whole phrase or question. You want to break it down to its key parts. So social media, I want you to start thinking about words, like maybe narrower words or related words with social media that you could use and kind of plug in to the library website. And I want you to do the same with this idea of dating. What are some related words, narrower words, or broader words? So let's go ahead and brainstorm some of those. Can you think of any off the top of your head?
I guess for social media, we could do things like Instagram, Facebook, maybe addiction, screen time.
Yeah, and already we're seeing how it's narrowing down to some different ideas there. So keep a list in your head or in another place of those types of things. Do you have any words for dating?
Maybe like romance, depression, anxiety.
You and the kids at home as well. Okay. Other ways that you can find good keywords are just Googling it and doing that type of a thing, or talking to somebody like me.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so I want all of you at home to do like what Cole has done. Brainstorm some keywords and write them down on a piece of paper or a document of some kind, and try to get lots of different words that you can use to plug into the library databases. All right, Cole, so you've got a huge list of keywords now. I think we're ready to hit the library website to get you some sources.
Okay, fantastic.
Awesome. So let me just give you a little preview here of what you can see on the library website. On the left-hand side, there are lots of different types of sources that you can search by. As you can see, you can kind of do that here in the middle as well. And on the right-hand side, I wanted to draw your attention to the help you can get later. If you need extra help, you can chat with the librarian or contact them in a variety of other ways.
Okay.
For now, we're going to take some time and show you this main search bar here. What you don't want to do is to put a huge question or phrase in. We just want to use those keywords that you had looked at earlier. So what are some keywords you think that we should just kind of look for?
Probably social media. And dating, I guess.
Dating.
Or romance.
Okay, as you can see here, it looks like I've done some different searches for this, maybe with a different student. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do romance. Okay, and see what there is to see. All right, so we got about 4,000 results. That's quite a few. There's a lot of results there. But as you can see, we can narrow down on the left-hand side of the page, like maybe when you're searching or doing some shopping online, and you can narrow down by the type of thing you're looking for. Today, we're going to look for books.
Okay, well, just a second. I think I'm more interested in articles because they're shorter.
They are shorter. You're very right. But let me tell you, books have chapters, which can be short. So don't worry, you don't have to read a whole book. Let me tell you about a few different reasons that I like to use books, especially when I'm starting my research. One, books are really well researched, so even though they're longer, they tend to have a history or a background section that can be really helpful for you. Also, because they're well researched, they'll have a really great bibliography, or even something like an index that can help you come up with other keywords that'll be good. And then finally, Books, because they're so long, can give you a sense of some of the subtopics that are there within a wider topic, like social media and romance. And you can see this first book, for example, is on social media and the secret lives of teenagers.
Ooh.
Okay, so we have this book right here in the library, and if you wanted to go find it, it would be down on floor 1. Okay, down there. It does say it's checked out, but don't worry, you can always submit a request for that, or an interlibrary loan request, which will mean that they'll find that book in a library that's close by and ship it in for you. So there are lots of ways that you can get this book. Another thing that I noticed about this book straight off the bat is this publication date, 2016. That makes me really happy as a librarian, and it should make you happy too, because this is a very up-to-date book, and the information in it's probably going to be very current for your needs. Okay, other things that you can do are look down at some of the subject terms. Those could end up being keywords for you in the future. You might even find more in the description. So there are lots of different ways that you can use this record, even if you don't end up checking out this book.
Okay, I can see how that's done.
Okay, so far we've gone over how to kind of narrow down your topic, we've gone over keywords, and we've also gone over how to use this main library search bar to find a particular kind of source. And in your case, we looked at books. So for all of you at home, we want you guys to do the same thing. Take that list of keywords and plug a few of them into the library website, live.byu.edu, and see if you can't find any great resources for your paper. All right, cool. So now that we've already looked at the library website here, let me show you another resource that I think will be helpful for you. It's called the Research Starter Guide. The Research Starter Guide is put together for Writing 150 and other general education classes.
Perfect.
So if you're ever stuck or you're having a hard time with any part of your research process, you can come right here. You can contact a librarian on the right-hand side of the page. You can get tutorial help. You can get help finding and narrowing your topic. But today, we're actually going to get into the guts of research, which is databases.
Now we're talking.
We are indeed. So what's a database? It's basically just a structured set of information that's kind of put together in a way that you can find it. Academic Search Premier just happens to be a very general database that tends to work well for students that are in Writing 150. So that's why we're going to take you there.
Sounds like a good place to start.
Ready to do this?
Yep, let's do it.
Let's go. Let's go ahead and open up Academic Search Premier and start searching for sources. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is to open up an advanced search. But to really understand what this means, we need to explain a little bit about something that's called Boolean operators.
When searching in databases, construct search statements. Search statements use keywords and Boolean logic to help the database return very specific results. Let's take a look at how to write one. Keywords are the most important terms to search. You can pull these from your research questions. You may also want to include terms related to your keywords in your search. The asterisk truncates a word, meaning that the search results will include any iteration of the root word. The quotation marks tell the database to search for an entire phrase or series of words. Boolean operators and, or, and not widen or narrow your search. And narrows your search by returning results that include all of the keywords it connects. Or widens a search by allowing you to link similar concepts. A database search will return results that include at least one of the terms connected by or. The not operator will cut a term out of your search results. Boolean logic and search statements can make your searches much more powerful because you are telling the database exactly what to look for.
All right, cool. So you've learned about Boolean operators. I feel like you don't need to use this just basic search bar right here. I think you're ready for advanced search. What do you think?
I agree.
Totally. All right, so let's go ahead and fill out these fields right here. Tell me some of the keywords that you've been playing around with.
Well, let's start with social media.
And you learned about the Boolean operator or, which gives you other ideas. So you want to use similar words here. It looks like it's prompting us. What about this first one? Social media or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I kind of like that list. All right, give me another idea.
How about dating?
Let's put dating or and see what else there is there. Let's maybe put romantic relationships. Maybe this one right here. Okay, dating or romantic relationships. Those are pretty synonymous terms. And what's kind of your final idea that you want to work with here?
Well, I was thinking maybe we could just focus on college students.
Okay, is there another way of saying that?
Maybe like millennials.
Okay, great, I love that. So it's giving us these idea of university, but millennials is kind of that age group that you're thinking about. Okay, let's go ahead and search that. All right, so 60 results. How do you feel about that?
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. I usually get one of two things. Students have too few results, like one or two, or too many, like in the thousands. And so you at home are gonna have maybe a lot fewer or a lot more than 60. And so you'll need to play around with a few different advanced search techniques like the ones that we've already talked about. If you've got too many, you're gonna have to limit down. If you've got too few, maybe you're gonna need to widen or broaden your search a little bit more. So those are some strategies for you at home. So the first thing I would suggest for you, Cole, is to narrow down by scholarly or peer-reviewed journals.
And what does it mean by peer-reviewed?
Great question. So peer review means that the scholar who wrote whatever article it is, it has submitted his or her work to another peer in the field who has okayed it for publication. So that just means that when we click that box, all of the results are going to have gone through that process. It means you're getting the best of the best.
So now these 45 are going to be those good peer-reviewed ones, right?
They will indeed. And then the second thing I want you to draw your attention to is the timeline right here. It looks like the oldest information here is from 2006, but for you at home, if you guys are finding information that's too old for your topic, you might want to update your timeline a little bit there. So you can do that. You can play around with a bunch of these other narrowing tools on the left-hand side of the page there. All right, so we've got a list of 45. What questions do you have?
So how do I actually read one of these articles?
Good question. The first and easiest way of doing it is that some of them have this PDF full text option. You can just download the article right there. I wouldn't suggest going ahead and doing that right first. I would actually go ahead and maybe read through the abstract or something like that to help you see whether this information will be helpful for you.
Okay.
But that's how you access the full text. But sometimes EBSCO actually does not own the rights to these articles, and this is a case of that. We don't have the PDF full text, but we do have the Get It at BYU option right here. So what BYU will do is search through the library website to see if we have it through a different database, and we do have this one through a different database. So you would just click the full text online to access it.
And then I can download it there.
You would download the PDF there.
Gotcha.
Sometimes we actually don't have it through a different database, and you'll see an option that says order it through interlibrary loan. So if that's ever the case, don't hesitate to order it. It's free, and they'll get you a PDF of that article in a few days.
Cool.
So, do you have any other questions about looking through this?
How do I save some of these so I don't lose them later?
Great. Let's see if there's any that look good. Oh, this second one's kind of cool. Seems perfect actually for your research paper. So let's say you want to save this one. You could just download that PDF and save it to your computer. You could also email yourself the information so you can find out later, or save a permalink in some sort of a document. Now what you don't want to do is save the link at the top of the page from the URL up there, because that's not going to redirect you to the right place. You want to save this permalink. So if you do it that way, make sure that you're clicking on the permalink.
Okay.
Any other questions you have?
I don't think so. I think I'm ready to get started. Find some sources.
Great. I'm super happy that we could be of help for you. For those of you at home, make sure that you're doing the same thing Cole's done here. So go to Academic Search Premier, type in some of your keywords, play around with those Boolean operators. If you have too many results, narrow it down using the left-hand side of the page, the limiters there, and then try to make sure that you can get to the full text. And if you have any questions, you can always go back to the library website or the Research Starter Guide and email or chat with the librarian. We're always happy to help. So glad you came in.
Thanks, Elise.
Awesome.